Woke up, meditated like 10 minutes. Hit the weed, tapped into the infinite. Stay pinned when it comes to the penmanship. Life's antithesis. Bright mind try to play me like I'm done with it. But I'm over it, so I'm ending it. And I shine like the sun cause I'm Ken. Life bad and I'm trying to be friends. And she told me like, look, just talk to me nice. Hold up, yeah. Talk to me nice, yeah, yeah. Just talk to me nice. Hold up, yeah. Cause these motherfuckers don't talk to me right. Talk to me nice. Hold up, yeah. Just talk to me nice. Hold up, yeah. Talk to me nice. Yeah. See, I woke up with a purpose. Pay attention, make a purchase. Time is money. When you spend it, make it worth it. We don't know how much we have. For a minute, hold up, yeah. Yeah, let it breathe, yeah. Yeah, staying focused on the moment is the only thing I own because tomorrow isn't promised and I'm not the type for living in the past. Yeah, yeah. Right now, when that's all I know, roll out of bed and my feet hit the floor like running to your mark. Ready, set, let's go. Woke up, meditated like 10 minutes. Hit the weed, tapped into the infinite. Stay pinned when it comes to the penmanship. Like scientists, right mind try to play me like I'm dead with it, but I'm over it, so I'm ending it. And I shine like the sun cause I'm Ken. Like bad and I'm trying to be friends. And she told me like, look, just talk to me nice. Hold up, yeah, talk to me nice, yeah, yeah. Just talk to me nice, yeah, say word. Cause these motherfuckers don't talk to me right. Talk to me nice, hold up, yeah. Just talk to me nice, yeah, say word. Talk to me nice, hold up, right. Cause these motherfuckers don't talk to me right.
Good morning, Rita. Good morning, Rita.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great. Pretty busy though. Got a big show today, so
I heard. So let's not waste any time. I want to thank you for getting in here. The people, a lot of people, a few people registered, but their registration allows them to get the replay of this video. So that's the beauty of being virtual sometimes. So we do have a gentleman here. I want to formally introduce you, Miss Rita Lee, the founder and CEO of New Face Entertainment. As you've heard her say, she has, and is that the proper pronoun? So now I want to, we in this pronoun state. I want to make sure I'm getting pronouns right. You have a big event coming up today, and you're going to give us a few minutes. You're going to give us about 35, 40 minutes of your time real quick. Rita Lee, New Face Entertainment, The Porch. What's happening, Miss Rita?
oh man, Juneteenth celebration with the world and locally with Gucci Man and fireworks with the village of Hazel Crest. And tomorrow we have a Father's Day house picnic with DJ Farley, Mike Fuller, Sundance, and a couple other DJs, V-Dub and Maurice Cope, just to get a father-son vibes to come out to. So we just, I haven't been nowhere. I've been outside since the pandemic, so I'm still outside.
Right. Yeah. So you've been in the business for more than 25 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
More than 25 years. What is your official role in the industry, Rita? What is your official role? I know you do a lot of things. You have your hands in on concerts and releasing songs for artists. You have signed artists. What is your official title in the music industry, Miss Lee?
Rita Lee, the fixer, Olivia Pope, the bridge maker, outlet, God's child. That's my official.
You just make it happen. Make it. Do you support the title of today's workshop is how to get a record deal? Now, that's you're right. Do you support getting record deals today, or do you suggest that artists remain independent?
From the heart of business and understanding business, I support the independent process, but through helping people verify what they think they want to be. Independent is not for everybody.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
Independent requires you to believe in yourself and invest in yourself and trust the process, and take everything as a lesson. Artist deal, you're looking for someone to take care of you, and that's why you're giving away your rights so that you don't have to invest in yourself past your creativity. You don't see how to monetize your moments. You're looking for I want to say it's a handout, because a record deal isn't a deal if you're not benefiting from it. The deal of it is, hey, I did a contract with this company to do XYZ with my material for this percentage. In return, this is what they get and this is what I get. And it's the same thing independently, but even independently, you have to partner with the right team, know what you need to respect their time and pay them to help you get to the end result of whatever your goal is musically or within the entertainment business itself.
So you're saying recording the music is just one thing. You still need a team of people to help push your product, to push you out there. Is that what I hear you saying?
That's what a record label is. It's basically an advertising agency that's going to advance you money for your royalties. And then it's the same thing, that same departments you're going to need independently to help support your releases and your vision within the music industry. You have to have a team. And if you don't have a team, God has to be your team member, and you have to be one specific praying person.
Now, what do you say to what do you say to these new artists, these emerging artists? Because we're embarking upon a new generation of musicians that are not even out yet. They're not even out yet, right? Some are bubbling, but many of them are on our platform, musicspool.com. It's a community of brand new artists, many emerging artists. What do you see that many new artists are missing or continually doing wrong that is preventing them from having a career in the industry, Rita?
Comparing themselves to others and not doing the homework and research into themselves. And that's 90% of it. Everybody is looking at, hey, Meek Mill did this, but what Meek Mill went through to get there, you didn't see them details, so you're already lost. And, literally not standing in their truth to what it is. At the end of the day, a lot of the kids have grown up on video games, Grand Theft Auto, and, watching YouTube. Some use it for the greater good of information and empowering themselves. Some just lost in the negativity of the sauce,
So where did you get started? Where did you get started in the industry?
I started, how do I say? The Slick Boys is a police officer. His name's Slick Boy, and they I used to referee some of their games when I was working up north at Potawatomi Park, and they needed some kids for some extras for their video they was doing. And I took some of the guys from the neighborhood that I knew rapped who think this would be dope. And when I got off set, they gave me $500 to $1,000. And I was like, what you give me this for? He's like, for doing this. And I was like, what you do? He's like, I'm a manager. I was like, what? And I looked around and I was like, the bug bit me. And then a couple other small moments in time, I met someone that was doing a lot of the Universal Soul Circus when they first came to Chicago. A gentleman named Sylvester Burton has doing a lot of concerts and stuff. And he's like, if you let my daughter come into your day camp that was sold out, I'll teach you music industry 101, and just gave me all these documents and just gave me the behind the scenes of without this, you don't look like that. Without that, you don't look like this. So I kind of got put into the back door of the Matrix, who gave me an advantage. And then from there, I did my first event with the National NABFM in Chicago. And when I did that event, I honored women. And when I honored all the powerful women in the music industry, it gave me an advantage because I wasn't selling music. I was selling celebration. So I did Shiro salutes for Sylvia Rone and Susan DePass and Johnny Walker and so many other names, and honored Kanye West's mother, Ludacris' mother, Common's mother, Whitney Houston mother, Usher mother, Michael Jordan's mother. And so doing that event, then Usher came because his mother was being honored. And then Kanye came out, did Dear Mama for me before he did it for Oprah. So it's
Wow.
thinking outside the box of being culturally wanting to help. It all came from hearing the horror stories. And that's what made me start New Face Entertainment, because the music business hadn't been rewritten since the 50s. And I wanted to be a part of putting a new face on the music industry. To
All
sum it up,
right.
some things,
Yeah, and
you know.
you doing that. You are a puppet master. You are a string master. You are pulling strings from behind the curtains. I tell people all the time, a lot of these famous folks that we see, like a Gucci man, wouldn't be Gucci if it weren't for people like Rita Lee. If it weren't for the people behind the scenes that you probably walk by on the street every day, or would walk by and not even know who they were. So I want to thank you for staying consistent. Now, you are a boss. You are a certified boss. Let's make no mistakes about that. What is your secret? And I'm gonna let Francisco, I'm sure he's got some questions. What is your secret to being a boss in this still male-dominated industry? What is your secret to being a boss and serving your clients, Rita?
No, treating people how I want to be treated, and understanding that love is the new currency. And from that perspective, I'm a person that in my DNA is to serve. So to see somebody have a vision and I'm able to deliver it, and when they didn't see how, I don't even know if that's a rush or just my calling. It's just fulfillment of it. But I'm a woman, so I'm automatically a nurturer. I'm a lioness in the big scheme of things, so I know how to go kill and bring it back. But more importantly, I'm a woman that want to see kings and queens put their crown on appropriately from the misappropriation of misinformation through time and chosen misdirection, so that we don't stand in our glory. That's it, me. But when dealing with, I'm the boss of bosses. So I build conglomerate. So when you're a boss of bosses, you have to be humble because you're working with another boss already. But 90% of anybody I ever worked with, I want them to become that superstar. And when I look at my resume of anybody that I've helped, they're all millionaires, very successful. And I wouldn't change anything, but when I say I wouldn't change anything because of the evolution of all this, but when it comes down to leadership, you have to be able to be the person that when I'm at my event and I park a car and they come up and want to tip me, it's like, you're a good car parker. I was like, that's great. But you can't tip. Well, who's the owner, so I can tell them how good you are? I said, thank you for the compliment. I'm the owner.
That's right. That's right.
It's stuff like that, being humble. Like right now, my staff don't even know what to do that I'm not on site right now. But giving back is the important part of making sure if you can give the proper information. So if it take one person to get it and they're gonna get it and they lead it by example, then another 10 to get it. So that's why I'm here.
Look, I know you have a major event, a couple of major events coming up today, this weekend. I don't want to take it.
I appreciate it. I could have said no.
You could have said no, but I do want to. And then thanks, shout out to Marisol and Nicole Marie Pittman for making this happen. Me and Nicole go way back. Yeah. And I called in a favor, and because this is a music streaming platform that I'm the co-founder of, and this platform is being built by 3 young men. Not like Spotify that had 40 PhDs from Stanford, computer science PhDs. My young men come through my training program where I teach youth business and technology, and they took the business and technology to another level. And we have this music streaming platform for emerging artists. And so this is one of the things we want to do, Rita, is give good information and help these new artists, really survive and thrive out here. And so let's get into some meat and potatoes before you get out of here. Have you thought about like the top few things that artists need to do or avoid if they want to be successful in this music business today and going forward?
Don't lie to yourself.
What do you mean when you say don't lie to yourself? What does that mean? Don't lie to yourself about what?
Don't lie to yourself that you want it and not willing to put the work in. So you tell somebody, hey, Rita, I want to do it. Then when I say, let's do it, I'm waiting on you to get up and do your part. because I don't rap, sing, or dance. I'm capable of it, but that's not my choice of lane, right? And if you're lying to yourself, you're lying to others. So that's wasting people's time and you wasting yourself when you automatically know, like, you know what, I just want to be working. I have a lot of people that rapped that saw the business side and, you know, was like, yo, I want to do the business side. I was like, okay. See, you're no longer lying to yourself about the rapping side. You got to the true side of what your passion is. And now you're able to be successful with that part of it. The difference with young artists, where you thinking it happened overnight, you're thinking it happened overnight is going to happen for you when it takes years to get to that moment to where everything aligns right. But you can plan it accordingly, and one little thing can throw off the momentum of what you have set up because you didn't pay attention or some distractions come into play and all that. But the biggest part of moving forward in the music industry, you must know that it's a music industry. You must do the homework of what the music industry is so that you can see how you can move within it or create new ways to move within it within the platform. Because my niche for being in the industry was that I converge technology and entertainment. And because I was a leader of convergent technology and entertainment, if you Google it, I was the first streaming service. If you Google it, I was the first download cars. I was the first person to take over hours of radio, to open and expand what everybody said we couldn't do. So you can't get on the radio. Okay, I went and bought an hour radio. So now you see Raw TV on Power 92. That's my birth child. Downloading and streaming online. I created that with Power 92 and GCI so that the radio stations would have another revenue stream for their platforms. So, and then in the NFT space, I created the first 360 experience where you have a concert, non-fungible token experience where I put it into merchandising. And then in reference to doing the first drive-in, doing events at Playboy Mansion, so forth and so on. But those niches came from me knowing my niche and my truths, right? And I'm able to help people from that. But if you're lying to yourself, you're lying to yourself. That's on you. But don't lie to yourself. That's the quick answer. Don't lie to yourself.
Wow, that's big. I don't think I've ever heard it said like that before. So today you're working with. Did you do the Bon Jovi event yet?
Yeah, May 22nd.
It happened. How was that event?
That was everything is still epic from the things that I created during the pandemic, and to be a multicultural curator is always dope to be able to change the narrative of what people think about our culture. From my event happening on time, from the event being co-produced by me, and you know, all those different things, and they leave with these super smiles, and that's what that's all about. And then, you know, Bon Jovi and them did their thing, and history was made.
Awesome. Congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Today you're working with somebody that a lot of us may be more familiar with his body of work than Bon Jovi. We all know who Bon Jovi is, but we may not be familiar with all of Bon Jovi's body of work. Right. But many of us that'll be tuning in are familiar with Gucci. Okay. And Gucci's body of work. What makes Gucci so alluring, so attractive from your perspective, Rita? What Gucci,
he came from nothing.
He came from nothing, right?
And he's empowered and given millions of people an opportunity, and stay consistent even while in prison, adding value to people's lives by showing them how to utilize the music industry for your benefit. And
go ahead, say that last part.
How to use the industry for his benefit. And he saw the mechanism, no different than the trap, no different than drugs. He saw the commodity and made the commodity where you're selling songs or you're selling projects and making money off of it. So, hey, I get this artist, I turn in 2 albums, I get $2 million. Okay, I need another artist, so I can get $2 million. Okay, I need 10 other artists, if I get $1 million from each one of them, because I'm Guwap, I co-sign, I'm gonna make some more money like that. And that's where the dichotomy of coming from, you know, the zone 6 out there and going to jail and coming out of jail. But he gave that conversation of pain that a lot of kids could relate to based on the medication that they were taking from schools to the medication that they was taking to survive in the streets. He spoke to. And so that's what made Guwap do that. And then to see him transform to not drinking alcohol, not doing drugs, and being successful in relationship, being a first father, and consistently, having great collabs and all that type of stuff is the difference what WAP is. But with the Jeezy and the WAP verse thing, you can tell that, his drive is materialistic status, accomplishing things, which gives people the drive. But in the whole picture, he was disrespectful as fuck.
Facts. Some would agree.
Yeah.
That's a nice rivalry though.
Yeah.
That's a nice rivalry. It's I'm
It's
glad to imagine. I don't imagine. Say it again, Rita.
Music is a sport too,
Yeah.
Sport, but I like it.
I'm excited that I don't think this one is gonna end like a Tupac or Biggie.
Oh no, that's over with. That was a combination of them doing their verses was to remove that energy in itself. So it had made it there already because one of the people in the circle passed. But when it comes down to just understanding your path, no one can write it but you. You just have to stay true to it and be consistent. But all the words in the world don't stop somebody just get up and do it every day. Every day. Don't take no and just keep grinding. But there's so many ways to make it right now than 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's kind of like if you don't put all your twos together, you didn't want it. Or sometimes you just didn't know how. And, because so many people think it's some magic trick, or if academics speak on you, your life changed and shit like that. But it's the body of work in the story.
Well, I have a few more questions for you. Number one, I want to backtrack a little bit because you said something about a lane that I'm very, very interested in, which is in this tech space. You said something about NFTs. NFTs. Are you using NFTs? Kevin Shine, you are, and you got about 30 minutes, so hold tight. Rita Lee, you said something about NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
I call it
new spin off the Bitcoin play. What are NFTs, Miss Rita? And the second part, first part is what are NFTs, and the second part, how valuable will NFTs be to the music industry over the next 5, 10, 20 years?
It just depends on the first question. A non-fungible token is a decentralized way to how do I say, monetize intellectual property and give ownership to collectors that utilize crypto, but also with NFTs you can utilize your credit card to purchase them as well. So so say for example in the music industry, to answer the question, if I'm an artist and I sell a song, if I sell a song and it get put on a CD and somebody get that CD away, I don't get the residuals of that. In the NFT space, if somebody resell it, I get a residual on the pass through because the blockchain is tracking the resale. So that's like, in other words, it's like a digital rights management. If I was correlated to what we're doing on the streaming side, is digital rights management with a level of monetization and tracking that can't be altered in the big scheme of it, right? And so from a new times in the music industry, my compadre Dame Dash, right now, Rockefeller's want to put a cease and desist on him, allegedly wanted to sell the Rockefeller album, which was not true. But the thought process of what can be sold and not be sold is what makes that very, one of those things. So you imagine if I sold a third of the greatest album of all times, right? That conversation changes and put everything in place the right way, from a different level of monetization for writers and producers and stuff like that. Because now when they do their YouTube licensing and stuff, they don't know how many people actually have their music out there. But if it was on a blockchain and you purchase from a blockchain, it can track it and you can see it move around from if I keep using different analogies like ASCAP, Sound Exchange, and all those digital rights performance agencies, this just have another level. And so when the 360 experience that I use for concerts, it's just another merchandising I add to. If I was doing a concert, you go buy me a t-shirt. Now, if I'm doing a concert, you can buy an NFT, right? or if I'm buying an NFT and you get a concert with it. So it's just another added value marketing tool that I utilize it for. And some of the crypto people themselves, it's just another way for them to put their money up where they're not getting taxations at, so they can, a lot of money sitting out there. There's a lot of whales out there with a lot of money, and they want that unique ownership. So you like
and my understanding about the
like
NFTs
clout chasing in the crypto world. It's like clout chasing in the crypto world.
Right. And my understanding too, Rita, and tell me if you're familiar with this concept or not, is that these NFTs are often can be placed in your virtual world experiences.
Yeah,
and so we're going to be seeing more and more virtual usage, the virtual world. Yeah.
It's called the metaverse. It's the metaverse.
The metaverse. That's right.
So we're opening up a couple museums from an art gallery perspective, and doing a lot of collabs with different stuff. So I would have had an announcement today, but I'll wait to do that next week about some of the NFT companies that are making a full change that make the artists take full advantage of it because they see the niche of it. But
No doubt.
that announcement next week. Is there anything else? So my staff is going crazy.
I know. Hey, look, you've given a wealth of information. Any parting words, final words before you go? Because I'm gonna let you get out of here and get to your thing today. What do you want to say to these new artists who will be listening and have been pumped up to hear from you? What do you want to say to them to make sure that they stay on the right track or get it right?
Love yourself, believe in yourself, invest in yourself, understand the business that you're in, and once you understand it, learn how to apply it to work for you. And then if you don't know how to make it work for you, sell it to work for others. Take note to the business models that Mr. Shine is going to share with you about your intellectual property on the writing side, because that's how you be able to pass your wealth off. And then from there, know what your brand is and why you're branding yourself to the world, and appreciate that music is a universal language and you can speak to everybody.
Rita Lee, it has been an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you. We know you have a busy day and the rest of the weekend. Thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to hearing from you in the very near future. Thank you so much, Miss Rita Lee. It's a pleasure.
Keep it going. Tell you guys I got something for them too. Thanks for creating a nice platform for the youth, and I'll give you guys some more support and resources, okay?
Thank you, Rita. We really appreciate it, and we need it. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Juneteenth, and much success to you. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you. What's going on? This is your man, Big Stu, Scott Stewart, or Professor Stewart. It really depends on how you know me. Welcome back for the Juneteenth How to Get a Record Deal Music Seminar, Virtual Music Seminar 2021. We are blessed to have none other than the CEO of Writing Sessions America himself, Mr. Kevin Shine, in the building with us. What's happening, Mr. Kevin Shine? What's happening, Kev?
What's up, brother? What's up? What's up? Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody in here. And, thank you for inviting me. Always like to, see people trying to move the culture forward. You know what I'm saying? It's always a beautiful thing.
Man, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule for being here. We got a lot of things to cover in a very short amount of period of time. Let's talk real quick. What is Writing Sessions America, man?
Well, before I say that, I want to give a big shout out to Rita Lee. I enjoyed the presentation she gave prior to me, and I hope everybody was taking note of everything that she had to say. And, hey, information is a beautiful thing. It's how you apply it, though, so hopefully that these conversations will translate into something that will allow someone to not only kind of see that you can't do this by yourself. You have to get someone involved that knows what they're doing. This is way more than just your passion for music. It's about, protecting yourself and protecting your rights.
All right, so, protecting yourself protecting your rights, much more than just about music.
Yes.
All right.
Writing Sessions America is, you know, if you look at the word, of course, it means songwriting, and that's what we do. We have a writing session and we do songwriting. But in our term, it's a collaborative word. It means collaboration, and it also means, you know, entrepreneurship. And so we kind of focus on those two areas within our organization. We have people who come in at different levels. Some people are starting. Some people have been in the business for a little while and have had an opportunity to make some music, or they've had some experiences out there where they didn't quite just, you know, crack the code or crack the nut all the way, you know, away. So, you know, what they, you know, look to myself, just so everybody be clear, my background is that I work as a consultant in this business for a long time. And even to the point where I've worked with major labels and helped with projects that have had Grammy nominations, and helped sign artists, and worked on television shows, and, you know, and helped in that respect, like making the band, and, you know, the Four, and then working with, you know, Jive Records and Universal, and you know, teaching music business at Columbia College in Chicago, lecturing about the business all over the country, various events and forums and different things of this nature. And so, you know, I bring all of that to Writing Sessions America because, you know, along with my relationships, my resources that will help you understand how this situation works from a revenue perspective so that you can start to look at that. Now, understand when people say the word revenue, they don't mean make this thing about money. It still has a very big heart. You know, you're talking about music and business. Music, all emotion, business, no emotion, right? So music has to happen in order for business to happen. So there is no such thing as it's business 90% and music 10%. I don't know why we keep telling people that, because if we don't make no music, then what the heck is we doing? We got to make the music. And that's why Writing Sessions America is so important, because we take our people back to the basics and making sure that they understand the structure of making a great song and what a great song entails. And we bring in, you know, professionals from publishing. We bring in professionals that are music supervisors. We bring in Emmy Award winning songwriters and Grammy Award winning producers and all these different people. And we embrace our people with that. And what we do is what we had to do is make it semi about business by saying something very simple. You are a business when you come into this industry. You have to start thinking in that capacity and stop thinking as this, you know, and there's certain terms that let's say I'm going to challenge the term, not take the term away. So I don't want nobody to say I'm taking the term away, which means I'm eliminating the term. I'm challenging the term. Like I'm challenging the term independent artist in a sense of, I think it's creating the wrong mindset. I think we have to start getting these people just to get rid of the indie and just say artists. Do we walk around and say we're independent car owners? We don't, do we?
No,
And
no,
so
no,
do we say we're an independent homeowner and independent?
no.
I don't. So when you know what that sounds like to me sometimes, and just being honest, it sounds like we're calling ourselves homeless children, and we're looking for a home. And what they fail to realize in the psychology of that is that they are their first home. They have to create their first home. So they have to start the process of of setting themselves up as a, you know, a company. One of the another terms I'm going to challenge on here is record label. The traditional model is dead. It's gone. We're in the content business now. We are content providers now. So we are not no longer developing record for just normal distribution or normal publishing reasons. We are now, you know, doing licensing opportunities. We're doing a bunch of different stuff going on here. So I think we should be thinking more in the line of entertainment company, which is multimedia, or production company means we're developing songs and developing artists. So in those areas, you can be a production company or you can be an entertainment company, which means that you're continuing to develop content and you are taking on third-party relationships to help you in in your situation. But when you heard me say partnerships, so what people have to come to the realization of is, do you want to be a owner or an employee? Because if you want to be an employee, then that means you're asking the person to take over the ownership duties of your career.
And when you say the person, you mean the record
Whoever
company,
the label,
the
whoever,
label. Okay.
it could be an investor. It could be multiple people. It could be some of these people are giving ownership to the managers. I'm like, they don't understand they're giving away ownership.
It's a lot to unpack, and you have a website, Writing Sessions America. Is there a website?
Writing sessions.net. Writing sessions.net is our website.
Okay, so Writing said if people want to know more in depth specific to their situation, they can hit you up directly,
there,
writingsessions.net.
Or they can get us on Writing Sessions on Instagram, Kevin Music Firm on Instagram.
We'll drop all of that, but let's dig in. Let's dig in a little bit.
Okay.
You've been in the business for more than 25 years.
Yes, sir.
All right. And what would you say the top few things that you can think of off the top of your head that all successful artists do? What are those things? What are those things that all successful artists do?
They have good music. You first have to start with the basics. Let's make sure that the music is there to definitely put us in, and then not only let's make sure that the music is there, and I'm gonna hit you with this one. Let's put in place the team that helped us make the music, that people that attracted the people, and let's make sure we have that first in place. So
you're saying a team, the right team, and the right music,
creative team,
the right creative team,
right? So if that means that you are, that's encompasses the artist, the songwriter, the producer, the engineer, maybe a vocal producer. If you're a singer or whatever, let's make sure the right creative team is in place first.
Now let's top that up for a second, because I want to know. We've become a society where, you beat up for criticizing anything. You can't criticize nobody. You can't, so now all music, no music is whack. It's everybody's own expressive created, and we don't know what we think a whack song is, because to whack song to us could be a pop and blah blah. So how do you work with art? How do you determine if somebody's coming to you, they believe they've done their best?
It's a simple psychology, Stu, and it's called supply and demand.
What does that mean? Because we talked about this over dinner recently.
You can create as much music as you feel, and you can create it however you feel it. But if no one demanding it, and no one is asking for it, and no one is booking you and paying you. See, once people start to put actual money on the table, and at what level are they willing to invest in you? Are they buying your going online? Like I have a big concern with the streaming system that we have in place, only for one reason, is that I feel, when we were listening to Rita, we were listening to something called monetization. And so artists have become more about thinking about their monetization, which is not the wrong thing for them to do. But we went to school to learn a craft, to get good at that craft, so that we can be able to deliver that craft at high volume if necessary, to be able to not only manufacture something in that moment, but to impact that into a system that we can now continue to make that and continuously make that. And so when artists get in these situations, they're thinking so much about how they're going to get to the finish line. They're not thinking about how they're going to perfect their craft. And so we're running into a scenario here where they're getting overwhelmed with being artistic and being business people at the same time, because they don't realize they didn't start with the basics. The basics is, let's make sure that we got the team in place, because we're building what we call a value system, right? So the value system starts with the music, right? After we get the music in place, now we have to get someone to represent the music. Okay, so that's going to be a manager, let's say. That manager is going to represent the music, and his job is to be in the non-emotional space while you're in the emotional space. But before we get the manager, we still got to have, a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer who understands what the space needs to look like. So you got an entertainment lawyer and you got your manager, and then you hopefully got a producer, not a beat maker, but a producer, someone who oversees the creative process. What we're forcing a lot of our artists to do is wear too many caps too early. Like, they got to be the songwriter, they got to be the producer, they got to be the executive producer, they got to be this, they got to be that. But we're not telling them a better way to do it. So they're just crossing into all these different roles, and they're playing all these different roles at one time. And so what I try to do with Writing Sessions America is I try to simplify it for them. So in Writing Sessions America, you join, right? So you go through what we call assessment. So your assessment is the beginning process of where are you at in your process? Where are you at in because some people are just instinctively, they're geniuses, but they still got to go through their process. And in going through their process, they got to now understand, okay, first, before I can call myself an artist, I have to understand the things that artists need. What do artists need? Okay, I need songs. I need to be making with a producer. So if I go into this situation with this producer, first thing I got to be careful about is, if I go into a room with this producer and he owns the studio, or it's his studio, and he says, you can come in for free, and you can come in here and work for free, and we're going to work on this and develop this and that and the other. Well, guess what we didn't do, Stu? We didn't create an understanding up front. So
we didn't sign no document.
we didn't
shake
have
a
no
hand.
understanding. We just walked in the studio. We didn't do split sheets or nothing. So, but now let me give you two psychologies with that. If I went in the studio as a songwriter, then that's a cool thing, because I'm not really going in there thinking about owning this. I'm thinking about creating something that me and this person that I'm going in the room with will partner on. And when we partner on that, that means I will get 50%, which is called the writer's share. He will get 50%, which is called the composer share, the person who created the music, right? Which we have the slang term now, it's called producer, but it's composer. And this is the writer, right? So that's 50-50. We split that. We're partners. When that song goes to whoever, whether it's a name artist or a no-name artist, that song is ours, right? And I don't really care about the master at that point, only because I'm creating now. Unless I'm a songwriter and I walked in, I already had a name, then I'm gonna walk in the room with him and I'm gonna say, look, I want 50% of that. If you want me to write a song with you, I need to own 50% of that master. That means wherever that master goes, that's where I go.
There's some, so composers, producers, and songwriters, they get paid no matter what happens.
No matter.
Or how does that know?
Well, see what happens
because something could get shelved.
No. What happens is okay. So we have like I said, we starting with the basics here. So we're building the model right here. We're building the model. So what the first thing we had to do is make the music. So we had to get in the studio with somebody. So now our focus is first to come to an understanding of the relationship. The relationship is, I'm an artist, which means I'm a liability.
What does that mean?
I'm
a
songwriter, which means I'm an asset.
So why is the artist a liability?
because the artist is the first to be seen and the last to get paid. And the artist has to make sure that they pay everybody else because they are a business. They walk in the room as a commodity, as a business. And they're normally looked at as the face of the music, not the person who's responsible for creating the music.
Let's go here. Let's go here. The artist. So is it? I just read a book. I just finished reading a book called On the Come Up. I can't think of the author, but it was about a young sister who was pursuing her rap career, and she had written some songs and gotten a buzz for herself, and then it finally got to the table to sit to the big people, and they brought her in the studio, and she was ready to record, and the guy, her manager, was like, "Oh, we already got the song for you. Here it is. Go in and spit this." And she was like, "But I write my own stuff." It's like, "No, we got you. We got you. We here's the song you're gonna do. Here's the producer. Here's the producer. We already took care of it. All you just got to go in here and spit it." Are you suggesting
that happens most times?
That happens most times, and so that catches a lot of artists off guard because they're like, "Wait a minute, I write my own stuff."
Okay,
like,
but let's be clear. Let's be clear here. Now, what did we start this conversation out talking about? Music is all emotion. Business is non-emotional. When you go into someone else's studio, they pay the bills for that studio. They create the business behind that studio. So they have to always think about how they're going to get an ROI, return on their investment, right? They don't have, that's all they can think about. Now, your job is, before you walk in that room, is to say, I bring music to the table. I bring a following to the table. Because what that does is create a different value system, right? So, because we're going back to that word value system. What is the value that you bring? Not that you just talented enough to write, but in the situation when this record is created, they want to make sure that they have access to that publishing. So they're going to say to the artist that they should do that. Now, am I saying this is right? No, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this is business. I'm saying in a business world, the non-emotional person is going to do what is in their best interest. So the emotional person has to do all of their work up front before they put themselves in business situations. Or they have to be understanding of the fact that if they don't have no one there to negotiate that, because you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So in her case, she is a writer, and she has to prove that before she goes in that room, because that creates value for her to walk in that room, and leverage for her to walk in that room and say, these are the songs you need. Now they have to at that point go, okay, I see the value in giving her the opportunity to do that because I'm going to be a part of something bigger. Or I don't really know if I like her songs, so I want her to do these songs because I have more confidence in my money being spent behind these songs than I have behind her songs. You get what I just did? And that's how that happens. It's not about if she's talented enough. It's about where is their confidence in terms of where they think they can get their return back. Do they feel the confidence in their return is going to come from them doing it on their music or on her music? And that's why artists are being forced to make something up front to prove their value, not to make them do all the work. It's to make them build their value so that it justifies when I say I want to make that investment or I want to take that risk. What justifies my taking the risk? Because I can't do it on an emotional standpoint, can I?
Right. No.
I have to do it on a non-emotional standpoint.
Are you all industry heads? You're an industry executive, brother. Are you all testing out music before you put it out? How are you testing out the music?
Yes, I mean, going back to what I just said. So they enter into writing sessions. We are a national organization. We have 4 different markets that we regional markets that we work out of. New York is our East Coast market. Atlanta is our South market. Nashville represents the Midwest market. LA represents the West Coast and Mountain market. Okay, so once you get into there, you're going to be surrounded with other creatives. Now, the whole ideal is to create an environment so that you now have allies and different people you can work with and work off of to help you understand, okay, I've been here with Kevin for a while and I've met these kind of people and these are some of the, and so now you get to say, okay, I want to be this and I want to do this. And, oh, well, that's not going to work right now. You got to make sure this is done first. You got to make sure, you got to make sure you got your music first. You got to make sure you got your PRO. You got to make sure that you got your sound exchange. You got to make sure that you got, that everything is in place so that you're set up. Are you LLC? Is your business set up properly? And are you the entertainment or production company? Are you a writer and a publisher at that company that you are with the PRO, which is a performance rights organization, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. Then you got sound exchange, so then once you have all these basic things in place, now what we're going to be working on is what we call catalog. Catalog is not the word we use anymore, Stu. We use album, EP, mixtape.
Right.
We don't use the word catalog.
Right.
So we don't know catalog is another word for library.
Your library, your portfolio of music.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is how you created this at the best level that you could create it at. When you go in the studio, you have to pay for your studio time, because if you don't pay for your studio time, the person that paid for that studio time owns that master.
For that studio session. That's
Right.
why you
want
to pay for your own. Okay.
Right. So you want to showcase that you believe in yourself and that that you can be this writer and you can be this artist. So your first task is to make sure that you align yourself with people who allow you to have business with them, so that you can say, when I go sit in the room with Stu or Kevin, to say, I'm ready to take the next step, even if you're not at the level we want you at. We just want to see where you at in terms of your value system in doing this. We want to know that you take this serious. We want to know that you're willing to invest in yourself. We want to know that you're disciplined. We want to know that you're patient, because this is a patient game. If you don't have patience, you can get leveraged out of a good deal.
What is this term I hear all the time? Hurry up and wait.
Well, hurry up and wait. It means that be ready so you don't have to get ready. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Do you know how many times that an opportunity pops up and then I take it to people and they say, I got to go in the studio and make some music. I got to go in the studio. Hold on, I've got to go. Let me go. I'm gonna put something together. I don't want you to put nothing together. I want you to give me the record you've been testing. I want you to give me the record you've been getting the biggest response from. I want you to see that we're talking value again. Show me something that showcases the value that you've been out here building your value up, that showcases your value. That's why they're making these kids do social media and all these numbers and followers and stuff like that. They're just asking them, what is your value? Show me what your value is so I can see that you take this serious, and convince me, Stu. You convince me that you really are passionate about what you do. I just want to know that you really do what you really do. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I'm going to go and walk around the neighborhood and see if anybody know your name. Have you really been out here, doing the work? I'm going to go online and see if you really been connecting and talking to people and really taking it serious and really getting out here and letting people know you exist. We're not asking you to get fans. We're asking you to make people appreciate you at the point where now, if I ask anybody, do you know who this person is? They're going to say yes. Now, what makes them a fan versus what makes them a supporter? Because a fan is like, let me ask you a question, Stu. How many friends, real friends in all of your life do you think you've made? Do you think you have 1,000, 2,000? I mean, real friends.
Real friends. It's 20 or less, man.
Okay. Now, my point is, as an artist, your friends are your fans. Those are the people who really believe in you. Those are the people that go out there and tell other people about you, buy your tickets, do everything to support you, to make sure that people know who you are, because they think you're amazing. Some of them will even volunteer to work for you for free or until you make money, just because they really, really, really believe you. It's the term is called fanatical. They're fanatical about you.
That's the long term for fan. Fan is short for fanatical.
Fanatical. I'm fanatical about you making it. I want to show you that I'm gonna make people see and know who you are. And then, so guess what we're fanatical about, Stu? We're fanatical about God, because guess what we do every Sunday?
Hey, we praise his name. We go
We
and
get
speak
up
his
and
name.
go
We
to
go
church.
to,
We
we
put
get
on
up
our
and go to
best
church.
clothes.
That's right.
We put some money in that collection plate. We're fanatical about God. Stu, somebody is fanatical about their wife. They chased her all over the country, and they went and bought the ring that will make her feel like she's the only one for them. And they went through all of the headaches in the process. And the minister said, for better or worse. Now, why did I just say that, Stu? Why did I just say for better or worse?
That's how the game is.
Because fanatical means I'm with you for better or worse. That's what fanatical. Do you know how much craziness we accuse my brother Kanye of? But you see how them fans don't go nowhere, do they? They like, you don't understand him. You know that they be getting on, they be ready to fight you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
that's very interesting, man. That I like how you broke that down, man. That's great.
See, we have to understand this is now what we're doing here now is we're building value, right? So in building value, going back to Writing Sets America, we have workshops, we put them through, we have boot camps. Our boot camp is called Pressure.
Oh yeah.
Tell
us a little bit about the press. Tell us a little bit about Pressure.
Well, Pressure is designed to put you through a simulated real life situation, and where you are given the information to be successful, and then you're given the task to be successful, but you also not only have to do it with others and show that you can do it with others, but y'all have to figure out how to come to an understanding that's going to turn into a great finished product. So if I say that this Pressure Bootcamp is about writing a song for Motown, and I put you with 5 different people, and y'all have 5 different ideas about how to write that song, y'all have to find that one central ideal to make the ideal real. Now, what am I teaching them there? It's true. I'm teaching them team building.
Yeah, man.
I'm teaching them problem solving.
Yeah, man.
I'm teaching them how time management. I'm teaching so many different things in this one thing. And then I'm exposing them to people who have track records and credentials and all of these different things to help them navigate how this situation works. Because when the pressure kick in, the one key ingredient that will save you is your experience and instinct about the moment. Right? Your experience and your instinct about the moment. Now, Michael Jordan, when he first came in the league, did not have, until he went to the playoffs, instincts about the moment. What is that moment? And that then as he kept going back, he gained experience about the moment, which allowed him to do what? Problem solve himself out of different situations. What do we call that in the real world, Stu? A professional. Are you a professional? You're learning to be a professional.
And you got to be willing to get out there and figure it out.
Problem solve yourself out of situations, right? Because if you can't problem solve yourself out of the situation, then your value does what, Stu?
It goes down.
Exactly. Because I can't spend money on you and know you can't handle pressure. You might be talented. There's a lot of talented basketball players out on the street right now, but they can't handle pressure. You call foul on them, they're gonna get a tech. They're gonna go off, they're gonna argue, they're gonna fight, they're gonna blow it, they're gonna mess the money up.
They're gonna call a timeout when ain't no timeouts left.
They're gonna mess the money up. And that's when you mess them, you can be the most talented person in the world, But I am not putting you in a business situation if you're not disciplined, patient, willing to invest in yourself and understand the moment you're in, and that you cannot make undisciplined decisions. You cannot be impatient. You have to invest. You have to do all of these things to show this is what you want. Now, when you show me this is what you want and you're willing to do the work, now I can look to put you in situations that I feel will allow you to be the most successful.
So this
That
is
doesn't
interesting.
always mean a record deal.
And so I'm glad you followed up with that last statement. That doesn't always mean the record deal. So you've already debunked this ideology of independent artist versus just an artist, right? So they're just artists. We're artists. I'm not an artist,
right? And I'm gonna give you another one before you finish your statement for everybody out there, real, because this is important. This is gonna go.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I have many people in my organization come to me and they say, I'm a R&B songwriter. I am a pop songwriter. I am this kind of songwriter. And my question to them is, if you wrote me your best R&B song and I give it to Taylor Swift, is she gonna be R&B? No. Did Dolly Parton write I Will Always Love You thinking about Linda Ronstadt and Whitney Houston? No. You are a songwriter.
Period.
It does not matter the only thing that qualifies a genre is the artist that's going to actually put that record out and that is going to actually be marketed. If I'm marketing Taylor Swift, I'm going to market her either pop or country because that is her base. That's where her core base is going to be. That's who's going to go run. They're going to look at her and they're going, yes, I believe her. I believe she is this, and they're going to go buy the music. So you got to understand where that person's core base is going to be. And then when you start marketing them, then that's what gives them that genre. Now, if you're a songwriter or producer, you're just trying to make the best music to support that artist in that genre. Not that you're making, you're specifically targeting that genre as I'm this or I'm that. No, that might be where your money came from because that's where most of the artists you worked on were based at. That's their genre, that's their base. Feel me? So your genre is your base. So I just wanted to say that because you were saying we're saying artist, we're saying songwriter. A lot of times people get all these things, these titles. Like I said, I'm challenging. Remember I told you that earlier? I'm gonna challenge a whole lot of things that we
challenging the terms. So I have another question for you. These new artists who are, we have I don't want to put you on the spot, but I like
that you said that. New, exactly. They're new. That's it. That's all they really.
The new artists, right?
Right.
They should they be looking for a record deal or not?
I think,
and I have an idea of
I think early on, no, I don't think they should be. I think there's a term that here's another term I'm challenging for you, Stu. Don't chase the bag. Don't try to get to the bag. Be the bag. Be the bag. What does that mean, Stu? We both from Chicago, Illinois, right? We watched one of the greatest basketball players in the history of the game, right? We watched him from when he walked in the door to when he walked out the door, did we?
Yeah, yeah.
When he walked in rooms, he was the bag. He wasn't trying to get to the bag. He didn't go ask corporate America, hey, y'all, I'm over here shooting baskets. Y'all want to give me some extra money? No, they wanted to be a part of his brand. See, when you create your situation to make people want to be a part of your brand, you can build partnerships, you can build relationships that support what you do. When you ask people to you go to people, then it's almost like you're begging them, like, please, like, and
I
guess what
don't
they
like, and I don't like that. I don't.
And guess what they do?
Don't ask people to put you on. You can let them know what you want, but don't ask people to put you on.
Oh, here go my turn for you, Stu. Do you want to get owned or you want to get owned?
Right.
Because getting
Right.
owned means I own what it is that I have, and you can be part of what I'm doing. That's what getting owned really is. Getting owned is mean I'm owning. That's what Oprah Winfrey did. She said, I don't want y'all to I don't want to work for y'all. I want y'all to be my partners and help me build what I'm building. So I want to own. What does she call her company?
Own the Oprah Winfrey Network. OWN.
Do anybody pay attention to the psychology of that?
Yeah, own it.
She's telling you, I own what I am. I own who I am.
Yeah.
Right? And we watched her career, did we not? We watched her when she first came on and she worked for them, and she sat there and watched Phil Donahue, and she went, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
How does that work? Right? We watched Master P come in the game and he said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How does that work? So when people come into the game and they understand that they own themselves at that point, you own yourself. The more you go and ask people to participate that are going to come in, they're going to ask you for a percentage of that, or they're going to ask you for ownership of that. And then they'll give you, like a lot of times we see all this so-called money going around and people throwing money in the air and all like that. Well, we know that we work in the entertainment business. So let's just say perception doesn't always meet the reality. Perception don't always meet the reality. And I say that to everybody to say, I've owned Kevin Shine all of my career. I've owned me. You know what I'm saying? And I've still had the career of working with major labels, working with major artists, working with multiple people, traveling all over the country, all over the world as an owner of me. And that's been the one prerequisite that I never gave up. I never gave up ownership of me. But guess what? When we want those millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, what we don't realize is that without no leverage, you don't get that. Like even some of these people that you see that are making that kind of money, what they're still not making more than the people who own them.
Right.
And there's still a certain fine line you got to walk through in order to get to that point. There's some people that are living very, very comfortable and they're doing everything that some of these bigger artists are doing, but we want the spotlight, we want the PR, we want the perception of what success is. We don't want the reality of success, because the reality of success is ownership. That's the reality of success. I know a lot of people who had money. Right now, we watching an incredible quarterback named Deshaun Watson being taken down all over the word ownership. He wants ownership to, understand that he has earned the right to be able to say, I don't want to be here anymore. Right? And all of a sudden, not saying anything, nobody did it. I'm not blaming nobody, but I just think it's kind of funny that all these allegations popped up out of nowhere when he started complaining. But then let's look at the same situation with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is asking out. I don't see nobody calling to create no scandals around him. But why is this war going on, Stu? It's called ownership. Why did the Chicago Bulls disband? It's called ownership. Did they need to disband, Stu?
No.
Didn't they have couldn't they have won at least one?
They could have done one. They could have done at least one more.
One more.
Could have had 2 more runs for one more.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was all this thing. It's ownership. What are we complaining most of the time about when we're saying they not giving us our reparations? But do you know what that's about? Ownership. It's about ownership. And so your question is, do artists need to seek a deal? Well, they understood there's a term called loan out corporation. that means you own yourself and you loan yourself out to others for usage, right? And we don't seek ownership of ourselves. And that's generally one of our biggest problems.
Miss Tonya.
That's Miss Tanya. She's Miss Tanya.
That's one of your people?
Yeah, that's one of my people.
That's one of your people. We are wrapping up, Miss Tanya, but if you have, I don't imagine you have any questions for Mr. Kevin Shine.
No, that's one of my, Miss Tanya, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I just woke up and saw your message. I was up late. I just saw your message.
So Miss Tanya, how would you sum up writing sessions from you're an entrepreneur, you run your own business, and how does writing sessions help you facilitate owning yourself or teaching you how to own yourself?
Your writing sessions has taught me that I am a business. First of all, that I'm the business. I'm the money. I'm the business. So I've learned to make sure that I have an LLC. Make sure that I have a brand logo. And have all of my ducks in a row. Have the term is have all my business buttoned up before I move forward with my music.
And what do, even though we tell people to do that, what is it that we do? How important do we make the music? Even though we tell people to go handle all that business, how important is it that we get the music right, Miss Tanya? And why is that important to get that right before we really start, the process of moving forward with our career?
Yeah, it's super important that we meet industry standards before we try to move forward. I mean, we're producing strong music and music that is that's placeable, that's syncable, that's as artists that meets the industry standards. So it is ultra important that we get our music up to par, that our structure is good, our lyrics are good, that we tell a solid story in the songs, and that our mixes are good.
And the reason why that's important, Stu, is because going back to what we've been talking about, just so you know, Miss Tanya, we talked about value system, and ownership, owning yourself and having a value so that people will come to you, so you can, because what we don't teach our artists or our creative people is how to properly own themselves and how to value what they have. So they get in these situations where they put value on Sony Music. They put value on everybody else's business than their own business. And so they're so eager to be in business with these people that they compromise their ownership, they compromise their value system only so that they can become a part of somebody else's system. And so then later on down the line, they've been, they find themselves in these situations where when it's time for them to, say, I want to do it, you can't do it because you can't go back and redo the contract. We learned that with Scottie Pippen, did we not, Stu? Scottie Pippen was like, I'm winning championships. I want to redo the contract.
And
you can't redo the contract after you sign. You can't, and what you might, even if you're making a lot of money, do you know that some of these people are making pennies compared to what they could have made if they knew better?
Miss Tanya, where can people find your music or hear you or see your videos or?
I only put out a little music before I became a member of writing sessions. So right now I'm working on writing more than I am presenting music as an artist. But I do have some music out on all social media platforms. I have an EP out that's called "Thank You for Waiting," and you can look me up under The Real Tanya on all social media platforms. TONYAA, The Real Tanya.
We need to get you posted some music on musicspool.com.
Okay. Okay.
And let's get that going. Hey, Mr. Kevin Shine, we could go on for hours about this, but unfortunately, we have it's a popping day out here in Chicago. It's Juneteenth. We were very deliberate in having this conversation on Juneteenth, especially as we talk about Black and brown representation and ownership.
Yes.
And so I am pushing for artists to be owners of their music, owners of their masters, owners of their artistry. And I want you to own it. I have nothing against the labels other than them robbing folks. And so if they
How
can
do you know?
stop robbing people,
Well, let me say this. Let me say this because I wanted
come
to
on,
say,
because I'll go
I have to
in
say,
now.
I know, I know, I know.
That's your lane. I know that's your lane.
I don't. I can't. I personally can't blame someone for something I didn't know that was going on. So what I have to be very careful about is to
All
say,
right. Check me now.
I gotta be careful because I don't agree with everything that's going on, and I don't agree with everything they do. But I also have seen it on both sides. We have to care. We have to start caring more about the things that's important. We're caring more about popping the bottles and being seen, but we're not caring enough about, like, I can go get a client right now and he'll go spend $5,000 in a strip club, but I ask him to take that same $5,000 and let's go spend it to help improve his business, and I'll get the third degree.
What's that for? What's that? When I'm gonna see my money back? What is I get it?
It's the psychology of what we put the importance on. It's the psychology. It's like we could have ownership of land, we can have ownership of businesses, we can be doing a whole bunch of stuff with if we all would stop trying to be famous. Because you see, the word fame only works when you're going down, y'all. That's when it don't go when you're going up. Fame is when you're going down, when they coming for you and they coming for, they trying to use, like Kanye, all the great things he did, it doesn't matter. It's him and Kim is getting divorced. He's this, he's that. It's all the negative stuff. That's fame. And we have to be very careful because the same monster that built you, it's the same monster that's gonna break you.
So I hear you. I hear you. So, and I want our artists who have music on our platform to be informed, to be educated.
Yeah.
And that's why we're bringing this content every quarter to our community.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for being a part of our community.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Ms. Tanya, thank you for coming in and validating, giving the proven testimonials, because that's part of the value system. People want to know. We got a lot of people in here that never heard of Kevin Shine, and they're gonna think that he made it overnight. He just popped up out of somewhere. They don't know he's been putting in work.
But Stu, my alias is Clark Kent.
Well, right. We talked about that.
I'm not trying to tell Lois Lane that I'm the same person in the same body. She looking out the window trying to find Superman. I'm over here just being Clark Kent. I learned that that we're going back to that word we saying fame. I mean, of course, I'll step if it like today if it means stepping out to to celebrate music or celebrate us, taking care of ourselves. You can put me on any platform you ever want to, and I'll be there and I'll show up. But it's about trying to, sell Kevin Shine, man, I get that all the time. People like, oh, you can make more money if you did this. You can make more money if you did that. You know what I tell them? I want to see my people in writing sessions make money. I want my legacy to be bigger than my bank account. I don't care if my bank account go. I've never had to worry about money in that way because I build a value, and when you build your value, you can negotiate your value, and you can negotiate your where you are in the world. And everybody that want to be millionaires, I mean, I'm not knocking that. It's a great thing, but always remember, Biggie wasn't lying. More money, more problems.
There you go. Well, I ain't afraid of them problems, brother. I'm here for it. I'm trying to get to the bag always. Would you agree, Miss Tanya? You trying to get to that bag, Miss Tanya?
Miss Tanya, she don't even afraid to say that.
No, she trying to get to the bag. Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
I need a little coin.
a little
Miss
coin.
Tanya said she want to be the bag though. She don't
I
want
want to be the bag. I am the
You
bag.
are the bag. You are the bag.
to.
Hey, listen, it has been a pleasure on this Juneteenth. Again, we want to shout out Mr. Kevin Shine,
Thank
CEO,
you.
founder of Writing Sessions America. We were just scratching the surface with this conversation. If you want to learn more, writingsessions.net. Follow Kevin Shine on Instagram, all the social medias. Look for him. Look for Miss Tanya's debut project album, and it's called Thank You for Waiting. Check that out from Miss Tanya. We're gonna hopefully get her to upload some music to musicspool.com. Hey, y'all know what it is. Kevin, any parting words for these artists before we go? Final words before we're out of here, brother.
Just remember how is important as it is to get on is just as important as to own yourself. You know, so please, you know, look into that. Own yourself. You know, learn your value, and enjoy your art. Enjoy it. You know, enjoy your art. You enjoy your art. Learn your value, and own yourself.
Enjoy your art, learn your value, enjoy and own yourself. You are the bag. Until next time, everybody, you know what it is. Musicspool.com. Peace.
Thank you.